Barbara. This city of 200,000 is known for its strawberry fields, ocean living, and a harbor that serves at the closest point to Channel Islands National Park.
The city of Oxnard is in Ventura County. It wasn't the most opulent neighborhood in the world, but it was a place where you could raise a family, be comfortable, know your neighbors.
It's not a huge place, so you pretty much knew everybody there. My dad, he taught at EYAMIE High School for, 30 plus years, and then my brother taught there also. That's pretty much Oxnard.
There are very nice parts of Oxnard where there's beautiful housing on the beach, near the beach, on like a Riverwalk type area. And there's some really rough parts of Oxnard with tenement housing, where people living very close together with a lot of crime.
It's almost midnight on August 27th, 2009. In a middle-class Oxnard neighborhood, Jane LAUT hears a noise coming from outside the house.
Jenna.
She asks her husband, Dave, to go outside and see what's going on. What happens next is recorded in a frantic 911 call from Jane.
911 emergency, just Galen, what are you reporting? Something was in our backyard. All right, what the person looked like that was in your backyard? I didn't see it, but there were shots. You heard what? There were shots. You heard shots being fired? Yes. My husband went outside. I want you guys to stay inside the house. Is everyone in your house accounted for in your house? My husband went outside.
Dave LAUT is already outside and in the line of fire.
Oh my gosh, everybody knew Dave. I always say, like, ever since I was a little kid, he's my Superman. He was very well liked by classmates and teachers and just counselors and people at church. You know, he was just very well spoken, really considerate.
Dave LAUT grows up in Oxnard, the son of a biology teacher who also coaches athletics.
Dave was an athlete. He was driven by a very demanding father to be the highest he could be in track and field.
We kind of come through a coaching kind of, background. So, the coaching goes with the sport thing. And Dave was a very, very good athlete. He was going to go someplace or do something at university level.
Jane and Dave LAUT knew each other from high school. I think they were homecoming queen and king at their high school.
They were like high school sweethearts. They got along very, very well. They always seemed to just enjoy each other's company.
As Dave rises through the ranks of competitive shot put, he and Jane become high school sweethearts.
Jane came from a pretty well-off farming family. The Laubacher family is pretty prominent in Ventura County. They've been farming our county for years. They are one of the five, I would say, most well-known agricultural families in our area.
They were ranchers. They had a big ranch. You could go out to the ranch, and even I did when I was a kid. I learned how to shoot out there. You can shoot like a 22 or whatever. You can shoot bottles or whatever.
After getting a scholarship at UCLA, Dave wins the NCAA shot put title and sets his sights on the Olympics. All the while, Jane is by his side. They marry in December 1980, and Dave sets his sights on the 1984 Olympics in Los Angeles.
And he won a bronze medal in those Olympics.
It was a proud moment for me, because I was like, oh my gosh, this guy just won a bronze medal. Like, this is incredible. And he was actually a little bit disappointed because he wants to, win. He's a winner.
I know he was frustrated with only winning the bronze. He thought he could have done better then, but the city of Oxnard was very proud of him. My friend, the city of Oxnard hosted a big parade for him when he returned. People came out to shake his hand and stuff like that.
I remember hugging him and saying, I'm so proud of you, dude. You did it. He goes, I didn't really do it. I got third. I'm like, you won a bronze medal in the Olympics. You are a winner.
His career failed happening for Olympics because his body failed him.
While training to be a firefighter, Dave seriously injures both knees. He fails to make the 1988 U.S. Olympic team. Suddenly, his career as an athlete is over.
He just wasn't the same, you know what I mean? He did all the rehab, and he was getting older too. So, trying to rehab both knees at the same time, he kind of knew he was done. So after that, he's like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to be a teacher. He was a biology teacher like my dad, teaching and coaching. Then he became the AD at EYAMIE High School. And I've had a lot of kids come to me and tell me, hey, I had your brother for a teacher. Hey, I had your brother for a coach. Oh, man, he was the best.
In 1999, Dave and Jane LAUT adopt a baby boy from South Korea. Their 10-year-old son sleeps in his room as Jane makes a terrified call to 911.
How many shots did you hear? I don't know. Like 1, 2, a bunch? I don't know. What? Oh my God. Jane, take a breath. Walk up. Your husband is outside. Can you call to him? Tell him to come in. He's on the side. Okay, Jane, stay with me. I have officers there. There are 2 officers there. I want you to stay inside the house.
2 officers arrive at the house. They're looking for an intruder in the backyard. They're young officers. You can imagine how scary that would be if you thought that there's a gunman. It's pitch black back on that side yard. There's no lighting.
Police discover Dave's body on the ground with blood pooling around his face.
They find Dave dead, lying by the barbecue.
He's face down with his arm tucked underneath him. It's possible that Dave is still holding the gun.
Police initially believe this might be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. But as more police arrive, they discover a gunshot wound in Dave's back.
You can't shoot yourself in the back. Police now know that Dave LAUT was shot more than once, and that somebody else shot him.
Jane was interviewed at the scene by a patrol officer, by a detective, then brought to Oxnard PD, interviewed for almost an hour and a half by another detective, at the time the detective of the case.
He went back to bed, and then he got up and said he thought he heard something. He said there's something going on in the backyard. And then he says, keep the dogs in the blood.
If there was somebody in the backyard, would you let dogs out?
We started to go off when the trash cans went.
Jane tells police she hears a man's voice, and then 3 shots.
And then I heard some shots, so I shut the door and I ran.
What the F? That's what Jane hears outside. And she calls 911 after the gunshots. She's in shock when police arrive.
We were notified, I believe it was the next morning, pretty early, like 5-ish, something like that.
This is Detective Sanchez with Oxnard Police Department.
Hi.
I'm sorry to be calling you this early, and unfortunately the reason I'm calling is there was an incident that occurred at David's house.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to say, but he's passed.
Oh. What happened?
At this point, it's still under investigation, but it appears that he was shot.
So now you start processing in your head, like, how could this happen? And, what's going on? We drove up to the house, and then they had all of the tape and everything all out. Cops were out and whatnot. And they proceeded to tell us what happened about a burglar. They didn't tell us too many details at the time. They seemed to be very, just kind of holding things back.
When the officers arrived on the scene, they found the victim on the ground with multiple gunshot wounds as well as pooling around his head. No casings or weapon were recovered on the scene initially. They also found bullet strikes or ricochets on both the wall and the ground surrounding the victim. And additionally, they found hair, blood, and tissue adhering to trash cans around near where the victim was located.
Look, if Dave LAUT found someone creeping around in his yard, would he have been shot multiple times in the head and then once in the back? Police know there's more to this story. Just as important as who shot Dave LAUT is why they shot him 6 times. Jane said she closed the door and then heard a man's voice and then shots.
That's where the gun came from. Came from my dad.
It's going to take a skilled investigator to get at the truth.
At Consumer Cellular, we pride ourselves on giving you fast, reliable, nationwide coverage at up to half the cost of the leading carriers. But don't worry, we've got more than that going for us. Like this beautiful store in Arizona, for example. It's the perfect place for me to tell you a little bit more about our phones and how they can become your phones. You name it, we probably got it. We have the top smartphones from all the major companies. If it's state-of-the-art cameras you want with space-age metal housing, we got them. If you want a smartphone with lots of bells and whistles but won't break the bank, we've got that too. We even have a flip phone, like the Iris Flip. We even have watches. I know what you're thinking. What if I don't have one of these amazing stores in my town yet? Can I get these phones sent to me?
Yes, you can.
Is it easy?
Easy as pie.
And for a limited time, new customers get their second month free. Call 800-918-5494 or visit consumercellular.com to switch today.
She knows what she's talking about. Pick up the phone.
Stay tuned to get 50% off your vacuum trim. Hey guys, does trimming your beard create a hurricane of hair with a mess going everywhere? Not anymore. Introducing Vacuum Trim by Bell & Howell, the revolutionary beard and body trimmer with a powerful hair capturing vacuum built right in. Watch as you trim, powerful suction captures and pulls all the hair in to vacuum trim. No more mess, and you look your best.
The trim is always tight. There's no mess.
Vacuum Trim is constructed with a surgically sharp stainless steel blade and built-in hair capturing vacuum. So powerful, it literally cleans up every single hair. So she never complains about the mess.
Clean lines, no cleanup.
Tired of swapping and dropping attachments, trying to find the right length? Vacuum Trim has 20 custom dial-in settings. Simply choose your perfect length and get a clean, precise trim every time.
I just turn the dial, trim, and there's nothing to clean up.
Vacuum Trim gives you the control of a professional barber to shape full beards, edge and contour goatees, and manscape mess-free. Look, it's impossible to clean every tiny hair, but with Vacuum Trim, all the shavings go straight into the built-in vacuum capture chamber, not your sink. Now that's clean. Plus, it's lightweight, cordless, and rechargeable. Here's what some of our most satisfied customers are saying about Vacuum Trim. Get the complete Vacuum Trim No Mess Beard and Body Kit for just $39.95. It comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. But that's not all. When you order today, we'll give you 50% off a second one. And we'll even ship your order free. Order now.
Call 1-800-459-3504 or go to vacuumtrim.com. So call 1-800-459-3504. That's 1-800-459-3504 or go online to vacuumtrim.com.
These aren't my clothes. This isn't my house. But these are my diamonds. Because Ross Simons offers fine jewelry at fabulous prices. Trust me, you can afford to look fabulous. Luxury or value? Why choose?
I had 8 UTIs in 1 year. This inspired me and my partner Spencer to launch Eucora. Eucora makes effective urinary tract health products.
It truly works miracles. The peace of mind I've been looking for.
Go to eucora.com to learn more.
I tried a bunch of different probiotics before seed.
And they didn't help. It addressed my bloating and my irregularity.
It's really helping my daily bowel movements and keeping me pretty regular. I started feeling better and less bloated, felt flatter, lighter. I just keep going back to seed because it actually works.
Now I walk around smiling every day because I don't get bloated anymore.
I'm Bobby Brown, and I started Jones Road because I wasn't done. Jones Road is a modern approach to my beauty philosophy. Clean, good-for-you products that are versatile and easy to use. Learn more at jonesroadbeauty.com.
I was never able to find a bra that fit my small chest. Every bra gave me gaps or made me feel like I wasn't enough. It was something society taught us to be embarrassed about. Small-chested women deserve better. So I designed a bra that finally fits AA to B cups perfectly, and a brand that empowers women to celebrate their bodies exactly as they are. No more cup gaps or looking 2 sizes bigger. It's not your body that has to change, it's the industry. Meet Pepper. Find your perfect fit at wearpepper.com.
Let's be real. When you hear studs, you're thinking tall, dark, and handsome. At Rautani, we're talking diamonds. Brilliant, flawless, with the clarity you deserve. No confusion, just the perfect pair at the perfect price.
(2009), Oxnard, California, north of Los Angeles. Dave LAUT, Olympic shot putter and beloved high school teacher, goes outside to investigate a noise.
Police find him face down in a pool of blood, shot multiple times, including once in the back. Would a prowler lurking around the yard do that?
A community is shocked by the murder of its Olympic hero. The students and staff at Dave's high school come to a memorial to share their shock and grief at his death.
I've never seen a funeral like that, ever. It was a gymnasium at the high school, and there were so many people there. There was people that I haven't seen in years that came to Dave's funeral. And, of course, they were, very remorseful and sad. And what was being said at that time was that he was, killed by a prowler. One of the people that went up there talked about how, it's tragedy these days that, you can't even go in your backyard to go throw the trash away, and then you have a prowler in your backyard who shoots and kills you.
Jane and her family don't attend the memorials for Dave.
She wasn't at the funeral, and nobody from her family was at the funeral. That was like, what's going on?
Fearful that Dave's violent murder is by an unseen stranger who is still at large, the community holds a candlelight vigil.
Once again, Jane LAUT doesn't come out to the vigil, and the stress must be overwhelming for her. The police are wondering if it's more than grief that's keeping her away.
As police interview Jane LAUT, they notice changes in her story.
I stood right out on the edge of grass, and he said, she brought this up. She's going towards the cave.
Okay, then what happened?
I went out. I heard the shots, so I started the door.
Earlier in the 911 call, Jane said she closed the door, and then heard a man's voice, and then shots.
Okay, did you shut the door and then hear the shots, or did you hear the shots and then shut the door? What was the dog doing?
That was on the end of the weekend.
What did they do when they heard the gunshots? Did you hear them barking at all?
I don't remember them barking so the police came.
Jane's description of the dog's reaction is an interesting detail. It's common knowledge that dogs have exceptional hearing.
Depending on the particular dog and how familiar it is with sharp, loud noises, it will usually bark or maybe even howl. If the noise was loud enough and close enough, the dog might have even found a place to hide.
Police look for clarification on the gunshots Jane heard.
When you've been around guns, you've been around gunfire, what did it sound like?
Sound like a pop. Like, quick.
How many pops did you hear?
3.
Were they, describe them to me, how fast they were? It wasn't pop, hesitation, pop, and hesitation, pop. It was 1, 2, 3.
I mean, not,
Jane says she hears 3 rapid-fire shots, and that might suggest that a semi-automatic or an automatic weapon was used.
So initially on the scene, no casings were located around the body, so that's typically indicative of either a revolver being used or someone picking up the casings. On the scene, they recovered bullets, and they were able to determine that they were .22 caliber class.
The .22 caliber class of ammunition is easily the most common ammunition in the world.
A lot of times with the smaller caliber bullets, because they're so small and light, they cause a lot of damage in the body because they ricochet around a lot.
Do you have any guns on those?
As part of their investigation, police use a gunshot residue kit to gather evidence.
So when a firearm is discharged, these particles can tell you if a person recently fired a weapon, recently handled a weapon, or if they were in close contact to a weapon when it was discharged.
Police are getting ready to test Jane for gunshot residue when she disappears.
She's in the bathroom washing her hands, and before the detective can stop her, she wipes her hands on the towel. This is very unusual behavior.
Gunshot residue is highly transient, so it's easily removed by rubbing the hands or washing them, which could skew the results of the test.
But police do discover several rounds of unfired .22 caliber ammunition in the residence.
The unfired bullets that were found at the scene ultimately will be of little use as far as evidence goes, but the gunshot residue that was found will ultimately prove to be much more useful.
Then, police make a startling discovery.
When searching the house, there were numerous weapons recovered, including a .22 caliber revolver that was found hidden in a grandfather clock.
That's not something you would expect to see every day.
It's typical of a cowboy-style gun that you may see in the movies.
It was my dad's gun that he had given Jane. Yeah, I don't know if it was a Christmas present. That's where the gun came from. Came from my dad.
And so that was the main suspect weapon that was compared.
A prowler lurking around a yard isn't going to take Dave's gun and shoot him with it and then go into Dave's house and hide that gun in a grandfather clock.
Do you know where all the guns are in your house?
I think most of them, I think they're all in the gun cabinet. And then he did have one, the handgun thing on the shelf, and I told him when Michael arrived, he said he put it somewhere.
Dave Laut's loving wife Jane, the homecoming queen, becomes the prime suspect in his murder. Does she pull the trigger?
You know how to shoot?
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have a gun safe. Sounds like you keep the guns locked up.
It's supposed to be in there.
I mean, you're not gonna have something in your house or something, especially like that, right?
No.
One thing is for sure, investigators have a long way to go to solve this murder.
A better banking app is right at your fingertips. Download Dave, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less, right through your phone. There's no interest, no credit checks, and no late fees. Because getting help shouldn't set you back. Switch to the banking app made for you, and you could get up to $500 in 5 minutes or less. Download the Dave app now, or go to dave.com today.
To avoid digital threats, just turn on NordVPN. Improve your protection against trackers, malicious websites, and malware-ridden downloads. Get the deal now.
Attention! Star Shower Christmas lights are a viral sensation and sell out every year. Stay tuned to get yours before they're gone. Hanging lights is hard work and takes too much time. There's the untangling, unsafe ladders, and the freezing cold. Introducing Star Shower Ultra 9 Laser Light Show. The fast, easy way to decorate in seconds and bring the wonder and magic of the holidays to your home. There's now 9 different decorative light patterns for you to choose from. You can select between twinkling stillness, moving stars, or blinking. Let's get in tight. I've got it on motion. It's like we're in the middle of a 3D light field. But look at this, folks. Look at the coverage. You've got thousands of Star Shower lights hitting the entire side of the house. It covers up to 3,200 square feet. With Star Shower, you can have lights way up high on the house where it's impossible to hang them, and even decorate shrubbery and trees. It's weather resistant and can withstand freezing temperatures. Just one string of lights can cost you up to $40, and that doesn't light up your house. Ultra 9 costs pennies to operate.
This is amazing. I love it. We're going to have the best house on the block. I want to have them every year. It's magical.
call or go online to order Star Shower Ultra 9 for just $39.99. But wait, order now and get an instant $10 discount, so it's only $29.99. Now that's an amazing value. You can have our cold, hard guarantee that Star Shower will work in any conditions or your money back. And find out how you can get the Star Shower remote. Forget going out in the cold to change your Star Shower pattern or color. Now just press a button from inside your cozy, warm home. Breaking news, Star Shower sells out every single year, so there's a strict limit of 3 per order. This year's supplies are limited, so call or click now.
Call 1-800-216-8223 or visit ultra9.com. So call 1-800-216-8223 or visit ultra9.com. Order now.
I know my mother would have been so grateful to see. And that's something I need about my mom. She would give you the clothes off my back. And I know y'all here today will always remember. Mom.
Family proof your family. Send an SOS with Tile.
Smithy Ironware Company crafts heirloom quality cast iron and carbon steel cookware with smooth interior surfaces that are naturally non-stick and easy to clean. Your Smithy will last a lifetime. Use it well.
Self can securely report your positive rent payments to all 3 credit bureaus for free.
Quicker than it takes your landlord to finally get around to fixing that leaky ceiling. Rebuild your credit score with positive payment history for free with Self.
True quality. Authenticity. It does not fear the passing of time. It's worth the search. Peter Malone.
It's officially fall. It's true. Just Fab has all your favorite fall boots, booties, and more. All at a great value. Just $10 when you become a VIP.
For nearly 200 years, big beverage companies have been selling us billions of single-use sugary drinks using the same old one-size-fits-all playbook. Think about it. We've seen technological advancements in every other aspect of our lives, but the beverage industry has been stuck in the past until now. Meet Circle, the beverage platform of the future, transforming water into your favorite beverage. Circle, your water, your way.
Coming up next on True Crime Network.
Oxnard, California. Olympic shot putter Dave LAUT investigates a noise in his yard.
How many shots did you hear? I don't know. Like 1, 2, a bunch? I don't know.
The story to the police was that they heard somebody outside and that they heard an intruder. Dave went outside. She heard gunshots. She called 911.
Police find Dave's body, shot in the head and back.
Jane does wash her hands and ultimately may have washed away any gunshot residue, making the test worthless. But on the night of the murder, they do find clothing that does come back with residue on it.
So when a firearm is discharged, primer residues, vaporized lead, and burned and unburned gunpowder are expelled from the barrel of the firearm. These particles can tell you if a person recently fired a weapon, recently handled a weapon, or if they were in close contact to a weapon when it was discharged.
Now, Dave's wife, Jane, has become the prime suspect.
There was a point when they said, we think that she did this. And it's like, you're going, oh my gosh. So that kind of hit you too, like, wow. So now you start processing in your head, like, how could this happen? And, you know, what's going on?
They find a gun hidden away in a grandfather clock. If it is the murder weapon, there's only one person that could have hidden it there, and she's currently talking to police.
This is a very, very, very serious situation here. And we have other detectives out of your house right now. Sat here and they listen to your story. And I gotta say, it doesn't match up with what's out there. The sequence of events that you gave us, compared with the evidence that's there, don't really add up. Looking at it objectively, there are flags that come up that don't match and don't make sense.
Despite Jane's obvious exasperation with the questioning, police continue to press her for more information.
I didn't know what else you want.
Well, there are some things you're leaving out. I asked you about your relationship. I'm asking these questions for a reason. Is it abusive? Physically? Mentally?
I don't get what you're getting at. I don't know what you want. All I want to do is get the hell out of here and go home.
You didn't get upset about anything until right now.
You don't know me.
I don't. And I told you that at the very
You
beginning.
know nothing about me. You don't know how I take things. You know nothing.
Don't be afraid to show emotions. Don't be afraid
I'm
to...
not afraid to show my emotions, but I'm trying to be strong.
Most of us can imagine what it would be like to be accused of something we didn't do. We'd feel shocked. We'd feel surprised. We really didn't do it. If you were continually accused, we might even start to get angry. The innocent person's biggest fear is not being believed. The guilty, however, have a different fear, the fear of being caught. Whether you're afraid of being disbelieved or you're afraid of being caught, the behavioral responses may be the same. They're both fear. It's going to take a skilled investigator to get at the truth.
What I'm saying is that you sat there pretty stoic and calm until I told you that what you're telling me and what we have are not matching up. If you truly didn't do it, then I don't understand why you get so upset now. If I was in your shoes, I'll show you to do it. You go find the guy that killed my husband. You never asked me that. You never asked me once.
Investigators are finally able to get closer to the truth.
You want to take a polygraph?
Yes, I don't care. I want to go home.
No, I'm asking you, do you want to take a polygraph test?
Do I have to do it now?
No. Do you want to take one?
I'll do one. I want to see my son. I just want to leave.
You don't just get to do what you want to do in a murder investigation. Our job right now is to find out who killed your husband. Okay? To look at everything objectively. We need to find out who killed your husband. We have to be thorough. Okay? And the best way, I think, for us to do that is you take a polygraph, you're here now, you're done, you move past you, we go to the next thing.
The story kept jumping and changing. One kind of didn't pan out, then another one would come out. She'd say, okay, well, this happened, and then that happened, and then it was an accident.
While Jane now admits that she shot Dave, she says Dave threatens to shoot their son, so she wrestles the gun away from him. The ballistics investigation suggests that this is more than just an accidental discharge of a firearm.
The victim had 6 gunshot wounds to the body. One of them was a graze wound to the left parietal scalp. The victim also had 2 gunshot wounds to the right side of the face, one to the right cheek near the eye, and one below towards the middle part of the cheek. Both of these projectile paths exited the left side of the victim's face. The victim also had a projectile wound to the right upper back. The victim's incapacitating wound entered the right parietal scalp and was recovered from the left front brain.
He's twice as big as she is, and he's shot many times in the head and back. This story still doesn't make any sense.
With police becoming increasingly suspicious of her, Jane meets with her attorney.
I said to her, Jane, the only plausible explanation for what happened last night is that he shot him. I just need to know the why. It's not a whodunit. I just need to know the why. And then she broke down and told me what happened.
Jane says that Dave abuses her throughout their marriage, and as a battered spouse, she has to defend herself.
Jane said Jane and Dave's relationship was one of him dominating her. The way he perceived his life was that sheer job was to take care of him in every way possible. That's how Dave viewed her, and that's how, unfortunately, Jane at that time viewed herself.
But not everyone believes her claim of abuse.
We never saw any inkling of abuse at all. We'd spend birthdays and Christmases and things like that. No problems. You'd never see anything. She would never say anything.
The one thing Jane said, she lived in a very volatile relationship where she was physically, mentally, and sexually abused repeatedly over 29 years. So there was no happiness in that marriage. It was a violent, volatile relationship.
At this point, with the story still changing, police know they have to keep digging.
Jane and her attorney offer police a new version of events.
He comes out and he starts yelling at her, telling her that she does nothing for him, that she's worthless, and he has a gun, and he's waving the gun around. He pushes her around, and he tells her that he's going to kill her and their son. When Jane tells the story to me initially, she's shaking, talking about it. She guides him outside to get him as far away from her son as possible. As they're backing up, Dave stumbles. Jane hits him like a linebacker, kicks him in the knee and tackles him down. And she gets the gun. And when she gets the gun, she decides that she's just going to keep shooting until he stops. They struggle. He grabs her by the arm and squeezes her arm, and she shoots him.
It's another change in the story, and it's not the only possibility. Maybe she's not reacting to what Dave did in that moment, but she's rather executing a plan.
Dave's family, including Don LAUT's wife, Rebecca, suggest that there is no abuse.
I also remember a very crucial conversation that I had with her. And I remember early on I told you that I had asked her, like kind of hinted if Dave ever hit her.
Yeah.
And I remember the conversation. And I asked her, do you think he would ever hit you? And she said, I don't think so. I mean, I can hear it in my head so clear now. But she said she didn't think so. If I truly felt like she did this in self-defense, or if it was really that bad, I mean, I would... There's just no way. Not anything ever did I ever think that she was in fear for her life. Ever. And if she says that she was, she's lying. She is straight out lying.
If self-defense isn't the motive, then what really happens? And why?
It was just horrible. She pretty much went out to go take this trash out, and she pretty much just kind of like had a flashlight and just started bang, 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 bang.
If Jane LAUT had intent, then it's murder. If the jury believes that she was acting in self-defense, then she goes free.
She goes back in the house. She's freaked out. She still thinks Dave's coming back. She doesn't think he's dead. She thinks he's coming back. So she hides the gun, and she checks on her son. She comes back out and calls 911.
Both sides agree that Jane shot Dave, and that she called 911, and that she hid the gun. But they don't agree on why she did it.
Can law enforcement use what they know about the gun itself to uncover the truth of what happens?
This is a single action revolver, which means that the hammer of the weapon has to be cocked before the trigger can be pulled. So each time the hammer needs to be pulled back, and then the trigger needs to be pulled to make a round discharge.
How many pops did you get? Were they describing to me how fast they were? It wasn't pop, hesitation, pop, and hesitation, pop. It was 1, 2, 3.
You know, I think.
Okay. Police know that this revolver requires time to cock back the hammer and pull the trigger. Every time a person firing this gun has to pull back that hammer and pull the trigger, and then pull the hammer back and pull the trigger again, they have time to think about what they're doing.
Jane had experience with the gun because Dave had taken her shooting with that gun multiple times. It was a gun that she was familiar with, and she knew how to fire it.
One method for firing bullets rapidly with a revolver is a technique called fanning.
Fanning is a technique that some shooters use to discharge a single action revolver and to discharge it quickly. It involves holding back the trigger of the firearm with one hand and using the palm of your other hand to strike the hammer repeatedly.
Does Jane have enough experience to use this fanning technique to rapidly shoot Dave?
The suspect claimed that she shot the victim in self-defense. However, due to the fact that the revolver was single action, so that the hammer needed to be pulled and then the trigger for every shot, this does indicate pre-thought and continuing to shoot the gun until it was empty.
Police don't find any DNA on the murder weapon, and they believe it's been wiped down for that very reason.
February 2010, police called Jane LAUT back to the station.
I've been working on this thing, Jane, for a long time. Since it happened. We put a lot of pieces together. So I know and you know what you told us that night ain't the truth. You know?
Police charged Jane LAUT with first-degree murder.
A warrant's been issued for your arrest. Okay, for murder. You understand that? Like I told you, you're under arrest for murder. Okay, you have the right to remain silent. You understand that?
A guilty verdict means a life sentence, and the use of a gun in the murder will double the sentence. Jane faces 50 years to life if she's found guilty.
She took a lot of money from my mom. $1,500 for this or $2,000 for that.
If they convict you, you're never getting out. You'll never hold your son again. You'll never hold your family again.
The stakes for Jane could not be any higher.
I was never able to find a bra that fit my small chest. Every bra gave me gaps, so I designed a bra that finally fits AA to B cups perfectly. No more cup gaps or looking 2 sizes bigger. Meet Pepper. Find your perfect fit at wearpepper.com.
Learning to invest with Greenlight has really paid off.
Huh, reminds me of how I learned about investing. Yeah, I never learned about investing.
Is there water in this thing?
Bring your family into the financial future.
Saving money is always exciting. That's why right now is the perfect time for you to join AARP. You get hundreds of benefits, resources, and tools that can help you save money, stay healthy, have fun, and make a difference in your life. Plus discounts at top retailers on dining, travel, and more. Join now to get your first year for just $12 with automatic renewal, plus a second membership for free.
Wow, that's a great deal, but I'm not retired.
Oh, you don't have to be retired. AARP is dedicated to empowering people 50 and older to choose how they live as they age.
Great, but how much can I really save?
Up to 15% off at restaurants, up to 30% off car rentals, plus free movie screenings, digital books, online games, and more. You'll even get AARP the magazine. Join now. Call or go to joinaarp.org to get your first full year for just $12 with automatic renewal. Plus, get a second membership and a trunk organizer for free.
1-800-794-1435.
Let's be real. When you hear studs, you're thinking tall, dark, and handsome. At Ritani, we're talking diamonds. Brilliant, flawless, with the clarity you deserve. No confusion, just the perfect pair at the perfect price.
You didn't learn to build your credit in school, but you did learn this. Let Self help you navigate your financial journey and build your credit with free rent reporting, a credit builder account, a secured credit card, and more. We can't change the past, but the future looks a little brighter. Start building your credit today with Self.
Hello, I'm Veronica.
My name is Darvin.
I'm Courtney.
I'm Jackie.
And we switched to Consumer Cellular.
My previous provider was terrible.
Surprise, we changed your rate.
We wouldn't get to talk to a person.
And then all of a sudden it disconnects.
Now with Consumer Cellular, no problems.
Better customer service. They tell me exactly what I'm paying and why I'm paying for it.
It's within $1 of being half of my old bill.
With Verizon, I was paying about $150 a month. With Consumer Cellular, I'm paying about half that.
Okay, this is doable. This is affordable.
I'm getting the exact same coverage for half the price. That's a beautiful thing.
Done deal.
I got to keep my phone. I got to keep my number. Switching over took about 20 minutes. That's it.
It's month to month. Very simple.
It's been amazing. I was now a Consumer Cellular customer.
And I've been bragging to my friends about it, too.
Call 800-456-2541 to switch and save up to half with Consumer Cellular. Plus, for a limited time, new customers get their second month free.
They were gunned down.
This is a Stone Cold Killer.
Now, determined detectives will have to trace the ballistics to track down their shooter.
We are all hands on deck.
Targeted for murder. Next on True Crime Network.
Along the Pacific Coast Highway in Oxnard, California, Jane LAUT admits to shooting her high school sweetheart. Olympic shot putter Dave LAUT. Jane fires all 6 shots in the single-action revolver. Gunshot residue found on clothing, as well as the ballistics evidence gathered from each shot, give police some clues about where Jane is and how Dave is positioned.
Jane LAUT may have acted with intent or premeditation. Prosecutors don't know if there's an entirely different motive involved. And at this point on the mind of a jury, they have to be concerned about reasonable doubt.
Prosecutors offer Jane a plea deal. Plead guilty to a voluntary manslaughter charge.
He offered us voluntary manslaughter 11 years, no gun. And I said, make it 6 years. And he said his office would not do 6 years.
In California, a crime committed using a gun can mean an enhanced sentence of 10 to 25 years.
I get a call from the DA saying, who will agree to the 6 years that she pleads tomorrow? Okay, 6 years involuntary manslaughter means 3 years actual time. It's half time. Okay, so it's a 3-year sentence. This is the deal of the century. Okay, I literally celebrate.
That night, Ron gives Jane the good news about the reduced charge.
Jane tells me she doesn't want to deal. She wants to go to trial. She was resolute that she wanted to go to trial.
Jane tells her lawyer she wants to go to trial and be found innocent of any crime on behalf of abused spouses everywhere.
The stakes for Jane could not be any higher.
If they convict you, you're never getting out. You'll never hold your son again. You'll never hold your family again.
Jane refuses the plea deal, and her murder charge goes in front of a jury. Using forensic evidence, gunshot residue, and bullet trajectories, the prosecution tells the jury that Dave LAUT is a sitting duck in the side yard.
A damaged lead bullet was found underneath the victim's body, which had threads from both his t-shirt and sweatshirt embedded onto the projectile, as well as fragments from the concrete. The wound was in contact with the clothing and the ground when it exited the body, consistent with the victim being on the ground when he was struck with this projectile.
This evidence doesn't look good for a self-defense case. If he's already laying on the ground when he shot a final time, he's the one who's defenseless.
The victim had wounds to both the right and left side of his body, as well as some of the wounds being from front to back and some from back to front. Some of the wounds were close range, near contact to contact, where others were distant. So this indicates movement on the part of both the victim and the suspect.
I guess one of them like skipped his ear, and then another one kind of popped his shoulder. And then, like that's only 2. So all of a sudden he kind of went down, and then she got him in the jaw. But now he's going down. So she's got 3 left, and he's like on all 4s, and he's looking up, and she just kind of boom, boom, boom.
The prosecution suggests that Jane may have a financial motive for killing Dave.
Yeah, they had debt. Yeah, was Dave upside down financially? Of course he was. Was Jane ever going to be poor and homeless? No. Jane never wanted or could want for anything again. They had plenty of money. Her family was always going to take care of her.
Police asked Jane's mother about the family's finances.
You guys kind of kept in the dark about a lot of stuff?
Oh, yeah. I never questioned her when she needed money.
What did she tell you? Why did she need all this money?
Pay bills.
Police discover that Dave's mother is lending them money as well.
You know, Jane had been taking classes at Oxnard College so that she was preparing to be, I guess, a preschool teacher. So not really sure. It never got explained to me, but she needed money for tuition.
She took a lot of money from my mom. $1,500 for this, or $2,000 for that, and my mom be like, okay, you know what? Didn't ask a question. She just gave it to her. Like, okay, you know what? If you need it, go ahead.
Then, a few months before the shooting, Jane asks Dave's mother for a big loan, $25,000.
There were definitely money issues at play here, but is that enough to suggest that Jane shot Dave for financial gain?
A prosecution witness testifies that Jane stands to collect almost $300,000 in insurance money from Dave's death. The defense presents its evidence to the jury that Jane is systematically beaten, abused, and raped over the 29-year relationship.
Jane lived with a monster. You're going to hear about it. You're going to hear in detail about what he did to her. You're going to hear in detail about how he treated her. You're going to be in detail about how he hurt her. He is not the hero of the Olympics. He is the monster who abused her for 27 years. If you understand domestic violence, you understand the why in this case, and the why was that Jane was a domestic violence victim, was trying to save her son's life.
Jane LAUT takes the stand to testify in her own defense and set the record straight.
If joint pain from aging is slowing you down, Omega XL can help you get back in the saddle, just like it did for John Walsh.
Today I'm here at my ranch exercising some of my polo ponies. Got to be really fit to ride these horses.
So as you get older, it gets tougher. I was starting to suffer some of that business. And then I ran into somebody who said, look, you should try Omega XL. And look what it's done. I feel better than I felt in the last 30 years.
I'm Reve Walsh. I'm John Walsh's wife. I ride fox hunters, and sometimes I'm in the saddle for 3-5 hours at a time. A lot of work out here.
I wouldn't have been able to do this. Muck a stall, throw hay, do all the things that need to be done on a ranch a couple years ago. But Omega XL gave me the ability to get back in the saddle. It works great.
Once you try it, you don't want to be without it. It makes a huge difference.
It does. Take it every single day. And you know, there's a benefit. It's made you a lot nicer to me.
If you've been living with pain, it's time to get this special offer, the Omega XL, the joint health supplement that millions have trusted for more than 20 years. Omega XL, it's sourced from the green-lipped mussel, exclusively found in the pristine waters of New Zealand, some of the cleanest waters on Earth. Omega XL, it's natural, drug-free, and it's backed by more than 40 years of clinical research that show it really works. Try Omega XL today. Pick up your phone and call the number at the bottom of your screen right now for a special offer. Buy one, get two free. 2 bottles of Omega XL plus Vitamin XL D3, a value of more than $100. But call today and you pay only $39.95. That's a savings of more than 60%. Plus, it's backed by our 60-day money-back guarantee.
Try it. You got nothing to lose.
Call or go online right now to get this special offer. 2 bottles of Omega XL plus Vitamin XL D3 for only $39.95. Call now.
$15 for coffee? These prices are insane, especially when I got these Just Fab boots for only $10.
Just Fab. Cute shoes for less than your morning coffee.
It's party time. I'm talking about Jackpot Party, the leading free-to-play mobile slots game that always gives you more. Download Jackpot Party for free and get a 45 million coin bonus. Jackpot Party, a party in every spin.
We've had some great times together, but I need to let you go. And so, babe, it's done.
Just on my card at Carvana!
No, even easier. I just entered my license plate and
Answered a few questions. Bam!
I'm dropping off and getting paid today.
Offer was incredible! Carvana! How convenient is that? How convenient is
Oh, that's Dave.
Thanks for choosing Carvana. Here's your check.
Thanks. Sell your car today and get paid the same day with Carvana.
I've noticed if my